I'll be very honest, I really don't like to review gear unless it's something that truly make my workflow that much better. Like this one. This is the DJI RS5, and honestly, it might just be the last gimbal you'll ever need to buy. And let me explain. I've never been a huge fan of gimbals. I much prefer a handheld, and if you watch this channel for a while, you probably know this. But with that said, over the years, I've tested a lot of gimbals. And after testing this one out, I can comfortably say that there isn't really a better piece of gear that you would need than this. This literally have every single feature you might ever ask for. So what really makes this gimbal so much better than any other one that I tried? Well, right off the bat, you take it out of the box, you put it all together, and then you go to open these little legs here, these little tripod legs, and they open all together. Like, this is such a easy, simple feature, but I've never seen it before. Before, you would have to singularly open these tiny legs. It's such a small feature, actually makes so much sense that I don't know how nobody actually thought about this before. Then moving on to balancing the camera, and we've seen this before where you have the big plate that goes in right here, and then you have a small plate that goes under your camera, so that once it's balanced, it's kind of balanced forever as long as you don't change the lens. But there's one thing that DJI actually implemented, which is the fact that whenever you are balancing your camera, you're now using these little knobs here. Instead of holding the axis of the gimbal up and the camera and trying to balance it that way, this makes such a huge difference, and it makes it so much easier and smoother as a process. Last but not least, we got this handle, which is nothing new, but it is something new because now it's an electronic briefcase handle, which is a very interesting name, but I guess if you carry the gimbal like this, it kind of does look like a briefcase. Anyways, when you plug this in, which is right here, when you slide this in, clicks into place, and then you lock it, it now allows you to control the gimbal angle, recording, and settings straight from this handle. And as someone who mostly uses this handle most of the time, whenever I do use a gimbal, it is actually very useful. Instead of using the left hand as a right-hander, using the right-hander to actually control the joystick, it's way easier, as well as recording with your camera, as long as you obviously plug in your camera into the gimbal. And then the last feature that I want to talk about that is mind-blowing, it's this tiny feature which we saw on the DJI RS4 Mini, which is the intelligent tracking, but now it's called the enhanced intelligent tracking. And all you're doing is putting on top of here, and then you slide right on your display, and then you can track anything. This is a great feature because, well, it's enhanced and it actually works. The question I've been asking myself is, can this gimbal actually keep up with my workflow? And as you can see right here, it can. I can easily use the DJI Focus Pro to pull focus right here behind. I can hold my monitor over there. And I've never actually had any weight problems, even though the weight is restricted to, I think, 3.5 kilos. That is the most this gimbal can hold. Future Luca, you can fix that in post somewhere right here, but I think it's 3.5 kilos. And with my Sony a7S III and a bunch of vintage lenses or even cine lenses, I've never actually had any problems. So for me, the real world test is definitely passed. So why would this be the end game for gimbals? Well, honestly, there is nothing else that I could think it could make a gimbal better. Literally the only thing it would be being able to support more weight, which is probably going to be the case with the RS5 Pro whenever that comes out. But there isn't any other features that could make it better, and this is the first time over the years that I've tested a gimbal and that was the case. Every single time before, I was always like, well, this could be made better, this could be better, this could be better. But right now, with the RS5, there's literally nothing else. So let me know down below. Is this the last ever gimbal you might need to own? Because I think that actually might be the case. Thanks so much for sticking around until here. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to check out this beast of a gimbal. There's a link down in the description. And I'll see you next time, next week.